What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another one. If you're new to the channel, I am Gold Pony. This is Gold Pony Crypto. My voice is just coming back, and I apologize. It's been a long time since I've made a video. There's a reason for that, and I'm actually going to tell you guys that reason for the first time here in a little bit, but I did want to start this video by saying there is still hope for Cro and altcoins in general, and the NFT market as well. I'm going to be going over my reasoning as to why I think the altcoin season has not hit us yet, the NFT season has not hit us yet either, so there is some hope there. But just super briefly before we get started, the reason I've been slowing down on videos lately is just because I've been trying to simplify my life, because I had what's called an aortic aneurysm last year. I had to get open heart surgery. What else was there? A complete heart block. I died. Actually got to watch my heart rate on the monitor go from like 80 to 0. Then everything went black, and then I woke up, and then I got a pacemaker, and that kind of experience kind of changes your life completely. I gotta be honest, like at this point I am living on borrowed time, and my whole life belongs to God. So I am His. Anyways, that's the reason I've been slowing down. But back to the video. Ultimately in this video, I did want to touch on when I believe alts are going to top out, and I got some pretty substantial evidence for that. Also wanted to touch on a lot of Cro and kind of macro news as well. There's been a lot going on in the Cronos ecosystem, so did want to touch on all of that. But before we get started, as always, nothing in this video should be considered financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, believe it or not. This is simply for educational and entertainment purposes. Let's get started. First news I wanted to touch on real quick is the Loaded Lions leaderboard is now live. Shane actually went over it a little bit more in depth in the Discord. If you guys aren't following the Crypto.com Discord, you definitely should be doing that if you're a part of this ecosystem. But I'm going to read that to you real quick because this is actually pretty cool. If you get on that leaderboard, it actually gives a link to your Twitter/X profile. So it gives you a little bit of publicity, I guess you could say, through that as well. But let me read what Shane wrote in the Discord real quick as to how it actually works. So he wrote, here are some tips for the community to talk more about the different aspects of the project. Lion token utility, where to buy, staking and all. Guinness World Records achievement, main city game, of course, competitive events, prize pools, the upcoming Elemental Blitz, mobile launch, the $750,000 total prize pool for season 3. You can even share your referral codes, IP, and he says for maximum engagement, please tag the Loaded Lions X handle or use the Lion ticker for it to be picked up by the Kaito algorithm. So I did want to mention all of that to start with. Next thing I wanted to touch on is an announcement made by the new SEC chair. His name is Paul Atkins, and he mentioned a crypto innovation exemption launching in 2026, which is essentially where projects can launch the tokens without full SEC registration. So that's something that is mind-blowing compared to what we were at 4 years ago with the Biden administration, where literally everything was a security. Next little bit of Cronos news, and this is a big deal that was just announced earlier today. Gotta look down at my phone at this one so I don't butcher anything, but Edward Adler now joins the Cronos team as head of ecosystem. So that is pretty exciting. I'm always up for new talent coming onto the team. So if you haven't already, everybody follow him on X. I wrote down his X handle. It's at Ed Adler. That worked out pretty good for him, but go ahead and give him a follow, give him a welcome, and just let him know that we are there for him, and I hope he absolutely crushes it. But here my last piece of news here, and this is the main point I wanted to make in this video, is there's a new video that came out from Raoul Pal, and he essentially was claiming that Bitcoin and crypto has always been on this 4-year cycle, which we all know, we know that. But he was saying that that has changed this year for a specific reason to a 5-year cycle, and then it may or may not go back to the 4. But either way, he's claiming it's changed to a 5-year cycle this particular year. Here's why. He says in 2021-2022, the maturity of the debt was extended from 4 years to 5 years. And so because of that, that also extended the business cycle. Because although there is a 4-year halving, and that makes sense that it follows that, the business cycle is also kind of on a 4-year cycle as well. And when you lay up the chart, it's kind of always mirrored the business cycle. So honestly, what he had to say in this video made a ton of sense. It had a lot of reason why a 5-year cycle may very well be the case in this particular instance. So I'm not saying it is, and this isn't financial advice, but I did want to play this video for you guys real quick to allow you to hear the arguments that he made here, because it makes a lot of sense to me. So let's go ahead and take a listen.
Why is Bitcoin sort of not wildly off to the races yet? And it's this chart. Bitcoin is basically, this is a detrended Bitcoin, and it's basically the ISM, which is the business cycle. Remember, we've always said it's the business cycle stupid. It is always the business cycle stupid. And all of these people who claim it's the 4-year cycle based around this and that, they don't understand the fundamental of what the business cycle is, why there's a 4-year cycle in everything. And we've explained it, and we'll go through it in great detail tomorrow in our Everything Code presentation. But basically, it's following the ISM. And rates have been following the same pattern. You see, rates should have come lower. They need to come lower because we need to roll the debt. We've talked about this. That's part of the Everything Code, fundamental part. And ISM, because rates are so high, has meant that Main Street has been screwed while Wall Street's made money from debasement. Earnings versus scarce assets. This is the issue that they need to solve, and they need to get rates lower. They get rates lower. Why? Why do we have an elongated business cycle that looks like virtually no other real time? It's because, and I only just found this out redoing the work on the Everything Code recently, is that in 2021-22, they actually extended the maturity of the debt from 4 years to 5 years. So that extension of the maturity of debt has pushed out the business cycle a year. The 4-year cycle this time around is a 5-year cycle. We don't know what the next one will be until we see where they all end up getting refinanced. Whether it comes back to 4 because they managed to get some stuff at the long end, or whether they shorten it because everything's in the short end. We don't know yet. But this one is a 5-year cycle. And this is what it looks like. A 5.4-year sine curve. 5.4 years is the exact average weighted maturity of the debt. And it tells us the ISM should peak by 2026. We think liquidity probably peaks before that, as the rate of change of ISM changes and the rate of change of liquidity changes. Our best guess remains well into 2026, probably Q2.
So ultimately, Raul here is claiming that the crypto cycle might not actually top out until mid-2026. So I want to share that with you guys in case you hadn't seen that already. But yeah, that's about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on X at GoldPonyCrypto. Be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into Crypto.com, Cro, and Cronos, because that is what I've been doing here on this channel for like 5 years now. I do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Stay gold.